The girl learned that her stepsister would synchronously copy her moves during the ballet competition, so she didn't hesitate to step on the glass shards on the ground. In the next second, the stepsister was scratched by the glass shards and fell to the ground. It turned out that in her previous life, right after the girl finished her original dance moves, she was accused by her stepsister of plagiarizing her. As a result, the girl not only had all her awards and honorary titles cancelled, but was also driven out of the house by her father. Even the inheritance left by her mother was all given to her stepsister. And just after the father left, the stepsister knocked the girl unconscious with a trophy. However, when the girl opened her eyes again, she found herself back on the day of the competition. Unexpectedly, at this time, the father reprimanded the girl that if she dared to copy her stepsister's dance moves again, she should withdraw from the competition. The reborn girl also completely saw through her father's partiality. In order to avoid the tragic encounter in her previous life, the girl decided to withdraw from the competition directly. However, when the stepsister heard the news that the girl was going to withdraw from the competition, she instantly became flustered. So she stepped forward and used the honorary award founded by the girl's mother to threaten the girl. Finally, to safeguard her mother's honor, the girl had no choice but to agree to participate in the competition. However, the girl was stopped by the judges halfway through the competition. Then the judges judged that the girl's dance moves were plagiarized from her stepsister's, just because the stepsister had stolen the girl's choreography notebook and handed it over to the judges in advance. And the girl's moves were exactly the same as those in the notebook. Forced to do so, the girl proposed to compete with her stepsister at the same time, and they must create original dance moves on the spot. But when the music started, an incredible scene happened. The girl and the stepsister danced exactly the same moves. The audience immediately thought that it was the girl who was plagiarizing. Just when everyone thought that this was another piece of evidence that the girl was plagiarizing, the girl smashed a glass and then danced on the glass shards. The unaware stepsister also imitated the girl's moves, but she was scratched by the glass shards and was bleeding profusely. However, she didn't know that the girl was wearing protective shoes. When the father saw the stepsister was injured, he immediately rushed onto the stage and accused the girl. But the girl said, "This dance is called ballet on the blade. It was created by her deceased mother. It requires dancing on broken glass. If the stepsister really knew how to dance this dance, she would have prepared protective shoes, but the stepsister just blindly copied my moves. So the stepsister is the real plagiarist." At this time, the judges also thought that the stepsister's moves looked clumsy. The stepsister tried to explain, but the girl asked her to perform the next part directly. The stepsister refused to dance alone on the excuse that her foot was injured. However, at this time, the judges suddenly announced that the competition was suspended. The reason was that there was a problem with the dance music. At this time, the stepmother immediately argued that they had discovered the problem before, so they paused and didn't dance, which once again pointed the finger at the girl. Looking at the ugly faces of her father and stepmother, the girl was completely disheartened and finally understood that she would always be an outsider in this family. Immediately, she proposed to sever ties with her father. Facing the girl's determination, the father didn't try to persuade her to stay. Instead, he directly drove her out of the house. Afterwards, the girl found the stepsister and told her not to be too complacent as the competition wasn't over yet. On the other side, the stepsister also confessed to her mother that she was the one who had plagiarized the girl's dance moves. Unexpectedly, this secret was overheard by the father outside the door.